Libra single friends, thanks for joining me. We're going to do your third week of May singles reading, the four pillars read here. This reads for your soulmate. We're looking for the one that's right for you, not your next ex-problem, next ex-wife, ex-husband, but the one that's right for you, like you'll be right for them. And call it the four pillars. Looks at the four pillars of relationship. We'll look at the emotional, intellectual, sexual, and love nature, and core values, lifestyle areas of your person. And we'll pretend that there's a runway been cleared and we're allowing your person to come in and land now. Maybe they've been circling the airport because you've been busy with other things, but now you're super single, totally single, completely single Libras. And this is their energy. Four of Swords, emotional, and Empress. Pulled three cards today for this. Nine of Wands. So, intellectual, we're going to have the Four Cups. The Devil, and it's a little different reading, so if you see the Devil or the Seven of Swords, don't freak out quite yet. And the King of Cups. Four Cups, Devil, King of Cups, and intellectual. Four Swords, two fours, and major kanas here. The Empress and the emotional. And then the Nine of Wands and the emotional, and the King of Cups. So, stop here. Here we'll do their love and sex and core values over here. So let's just look at this. This is the moon and the sun in astrology, the conscious and the unconscious. I read here the more conscious energy. This is the deep unconscious energy. So here in the emotional aspect, the Nine of Wands is the deep unconscious. So, this is someone that had a difficult childhood with the Four of Swords up here. And that shows that emotionally they may come across being kind of guarded, kind of protective, a little withdrawn. They're probably not going to be, especially also with the Four Cups over here, in the intellectual position. They're not going to be real open and vibrant and going to hang back a little bit introverted, quiet, a listener more in their energy. They did a lot of work emotionally, and they had someone in their life, this Empress here, maybe a Taurus, and they may also had a Capricorn, so earth energy, someone that grounded them. So my feeling is they're going to tell you a story about probably a grandmother. I mean, whoever the caregiver is, it's usually the woman, but could be a grandmother and a grandfather here. It could be the Taurus and the Capricorn. Strikes me hard that they could have an angel too. The grandmother, grandfather are protective of them, and if one or the other's passed on, one or the other, whoever was the closest love connection to them, also as their guardian angels all over them, It's all for this connection, no doubt there. So they went through a healing process, and they were helped by this person in life who is very loving and abundant and Venus energy, a very powerful mother figure. You see this woman with wide hips, and it wasn't easy. They went through some kind of struggle in their child. They might have went from foster home to then they found someone that really loved them and cared for them. And intellectually too, they hang back. With the Four Cups up there at the top position, it's like they don't like to commit themselves intellectually to kind of anything, and they don't want to give a lot of emotion to thoughts, I think is what that is. They might have an Earth Mercury. Capricorn would be the most obvious in terms of their Mercury energy. Um, they may have an Earth Moon too. That might be what's really helping them, that Taurus too. Taurus Moon, Earth, Mercury. Could be Capricorn energy to them as well. But with the King of Cups down here in the intellectual position at the very bottom in the core of the unconscious, and with the Nine of Wands, they really learned a lot emotionally from their experiences, the things that happened to them. And these are primarily bad things, but a mixture of things. Like they really learned, maybe early in life. This is a person, maybe by the time they were like a teenager, the time they were college age, they were really an adult. They really understood a lot about life. It's like they had packed an entire lifetime, into the first 18 years of their life. And they walk into college with the feelings of an old woman or an old man, with the experience of a lifetime about them. It could speak to an old soul too. Um, and I think too, with the Four of Cups and the Devil in between the King of Cups, it's like they really don't want to give much of their energy to anything unless it really excites them. Their feelings really makes them feel good and connected. So it's like they'd be pretty careful what they give their attention to. So this someone with no tolerance, like they're not going to probably say this, but they would just very naturally have zero tolerance for any kind of bullshit, hyperbole, falsehoods, um, negative anything. They just not even sure they would call it out. They just wouldn't participate and would remove themselves from any kind of negative um, stuff. So, and they probably just wouldn't allow projections because they really understand themselves. They have they have a great understanding of their own emotions, which I think they got through this process. This Nine of Wands wasn't easy. They may tell you what the process was they went through. If you talk to them, you ask the open-ended questions. It's another person that you're gonna have to draw them out. But what's really gonna draw them out the most is what they're passionate about. And they may have a little dark side mentally too. You may find that they like the reality shows about murder investigations, these kind of things. They kind of have an interest in the occult with that devil card there. Um, so I've seen a couple readings recently where people seem to have no interest. It's always a curiosity of mine. This will be someone that's pretty open to eighth house stuff, particularly like tarot, like astrology, witchcraft even. So sexually, look at the fours. All fours across the top. Four swords, four cups. Sexual and Venus energy. You got the Four Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and the Ten of Cups. With the core values, the Chariot, Ace of Pentacles, their core values and their lifestyle, and the Two of Pentacles. Okay, guys, so let's look at their lifestyle core values. This person may live overseas or work overseas or live in another culture than they're from, or work in another culture, or work with another culture than the one they're born in. Um, with the Ace of Swords and the Two of Pentacles, whatever they do, there's a precision involved. They'll talk about this. There's something they do that takes a lot of precision. And I'm not clear. It could be mental. What would that be? Computer programmer. And this Two of Pentacles emphasizes here is the electrical engine, that balance, the back and forth energy. of being balanced, and keeping things, keeping your life in control. You know, you get up in the morning, you meditate, you run, you do your yoga, you eat right, you get to bed early, spend a little time in the relationship, spend a little time at work. But it takes like an effort. There's a precision to it, and with the chariot too, it could just be the belief systems. They've shifted their belief systems significantly during their life. Like it's the most literal version is they become a Muslim, you know, and they were whatever Methodist, you know. But I don't see this person caring too much about their traditional religious background. But they make a significant shift in themselves. Maybe again in that late teenage, early adulthood era, um, and they shifted into something that they have to be very committed to and precise about. Pay attention to details. Very strong, assertive about whatever they did too. It may have been something that other people didn't like, and they just had to do it anyway. And I think like the way they are now, they've achieved this equilibrium in their life and this balance in their life. And you know, if you look at like where they come from and stuff, and kind of how they got there, it's an older person, definitely over first Saturn return, somebody who's mature, who's been through a lot. Now, sexually, they're going to be slow with these fours, and you see they're just bringing in this energy right into the bedroom. This is what happens because it gets in your body. So with the Four of Pentacles, um, they almost might have some physical trauma, some PTSD type issues around lovemaking. Um, Definitely slow, definitely some reassurances. They're afraid of losing themselves. The biggest fear for them emotionally is in terms of love and sex. This is important, love and sex, is that they would lose themselves in the other person. And this probably comes from in the past where their boundaries were violated, okay? And they did lose themselves. So it becomes, even though they may no longer even mentally think of that, maybe they do, but in the body feels it still. Um, but with the Queen of Wands, they want to let go. And look, it's next to that Devil. It's next to uh, the Ace of Swords. Um, so they really want to let go, and what would probably feel to them like be authentic, you know. Um, and let's see if we've got a Capricorn Mercury and maybe a Capricorn person. This could be a Sagittarius Mars and could be a Capricorn Venus. Um, Very most likely. Capricorn Venus, Sagittarius Mars person in their natal. And with the Ten of Cups in this deep position, um, one of the reasons too they might be in that Four of Pentacles energy up top is they don't maybe have a lot of sex, and they maybe are very careful about how they give themselves. And maybe what they want is, you know, they're always looking for that soulmate connection, the Ten of Cups energy, you know, my true happy family, true emotional fulfillment. And the Queen of Wands is in between there. So there's this balance too here, this balance that they seek. So in terms too of their just their home life too, they're going to want a balance. So you know, they're not going to want to always stay at home. They're not going to always go out. They're not going to want like extremes. They're going to want a home to be comfortable, but not too comfortable. They're going to want a car that's they like and is comfortable, but not ostentatious. Doesn't use too much gas. This kind of energy. Um, and in terms of love, I think they could be very passionate. Once they feel like they have this balance between they can kind of let go of holding back and being afraid, and they can open themselves up emotionally and just be available, then I think they'd just be the Sag Mars and kick in, just be a pistol in a sack, and a lot of fun, and really good. And so long as they feel like they have their 10 of Cups, which they are going to have with you because this is your person. Not ready for toxicity or anything like that. This is their person. They're not perfect, but they're perfect for you. I hope. Thank you guys. Let me know. Give me a like if that you're late to that. And third week of May, and I do appreciate everyone subscribing. That helps a lot when you get to 1,000 before we know it. And I'll go live.